Christopher Nolan, he wants to work for Marvel. Why else would he make a movie where you can call Act 1, Far From Home, Act 2, No Way Home, Act 3, Homecoming, and the epilogue, Brand New Day, and then cast Zendaya and Tom Holland in it? If I were Feige, I'd give the man a call. This is the review of Champions, and I'm your host, Grandmaster. With me is a powerful panel made up of the finest champions Cigar has to offer. Let me introduce them to you. Both on camera, we have Mr. Taylor first, the original. How are you?
I'm good.
And we have Merv. How are you?
I am fantastic.
That's great to hear. Today, we're going to talk about Christopher Nolan's latest film, The Odyssey. But before we do, I want to ask you all to help us out. Like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, and join our forum. It's a card of freeform. So that just click on the link in the description. It's that easy. We would love it if you do that. The Odyssey. A man takes a long road home to find his wife's lover, not in the closet, but just in the living room. And basically, that's the story, right? Murph, did you enjoy the Odyssey?
Quite a lot, yeah. I think I don't have it officially ranked, but I'm going to say this is in my top 3 to 4 Christopher Nolan films. After just one viewing, I had a blast with it, and unlike so many people, I'm actually very not very versed on the lore. Like Homer's, I never had to read it in school or anything, so this is all pretty fresh for me. Some concepts, obviously, I've seen redone a couple dozen times, but yeah, I had a blast with it. I thought there's almost no flaws in this movie. I thought it was great.
Well, as a former history student, I did read the Odyssey, and I can tell you it's absolutely perfect in that regard. But anyway, Taylor, what did you think of the Odyssey?
Oh, man. I don't know where to go with this. I mean, Tom Holland was great. Zendaya was great. John Bernthal was great. But this is the weirdest Spider-Man movie I've ever seen in my life.
Right?
Why didn't he web those guys that were coming on to Aunt May? I just don't get
it. Taylor, we're reviewing Brand New Day tomorrow. But anyway,
no, I know what we're reviewing today. We're reviewing a story based on Greek mythology, where the characters speak in modern American English, and the casting is mostly race is mostly irrelevant in the casting. So obviously, what we're talking about is Hercules: The Legendary Journeys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Once again, Nolan is ripping off Sam Raimi.
Of course he is.
Just like, virtually all genre entertainment in the last 40 years owes its existence to Sam Raimi anyway. But seriously, folks, this is a good movie. This is a very good movie. I do have some criticisms that we'll get to, but don't get me wrong. This is a very good movie, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Well, thank you for that. I hope I didn't steal your thunder by making the Spider-Man reference in my opening.
Just a little.
I'm really, my apologies, my sincere apologies.
I'll do the jokes around here, okay?
Pretty soon I'm out of a job here, but anyway, the Odyssey. When I came back from the movie theater, I went on to Cigar and I wrote my review, and it was quite simply magnum opus. Christopher Nolan's magnum opus. I think it's his best movie. It's as simple as that. Because not only did he honor a legendary story, a myth, if you will, and he did it in such a way. I could tell the moments where he used CGI, and there were like moments. A lot of it was like, real live action, and I thought it was absolutely amazing how he did it. And in this day and age, he just not honored Homer's Odyssey, but he also honored classic filmmaking. And Yeah, I applaud him for that. And yeah, the acting was great. The cast was great. The dialogue was great. I think the structure of the movie was set up in such a way that the ending was really interesting. Even though, like I said before, I read the book and saw the old movie as well. But uh, really well done. And I think uh, Tom Holland did an excellent job in this movie. And he's really maturing as an actor as well. And I want to point it out because he was that annoying kid from Civil War, but now he's a really, you know, great actor. And that's, I think you can say that he's maybe even right now the biggest star in Hollywood. But that's debate for another day. Uh, Taylor, you had some criticisms of this movie, so I want to hear it.
Okay. We'll start with the criticisms because I do have a lot of good stuff to say. Uh, I'm not the biggest Nolan fan to begin with. I like Oppenheimer. I like Batman Begins. I haven't seen a couple of his movies that are supposed to be really good. I haven't seen Inception. I haven't seen Memento. Didn't think much of Dunkirk or Tenet, to be honest with you. Just didn't find them all that entertaining. I found what's the time travel timey-wimey thing with with Matthew McConaughey?
Interstellar.
Interstellar. I found that up to be a bore. Just a bore. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm lukewarm on Nolan. He's great technically. Beautiful filmmaking. All right. I just think he falls a little short on storytelling sometimes. All right. But and that's I think is the criticism of this movie also. Not that it's bad storytelling by any means. Like I said, I just don't think it's magnum opus, greatest movie ever made type storytelling. I think I the jumping around in time works fine sometimes. I'm not sure it worked completely all the time during in this movie. I think it was a little bit confusing at times. I think there was a lack of exposition at times that we could have used a little bit more explanation of who we're dealing with and what's going on. What is the monster that plucks people out of the ship and eats them, and who is Charlize Theron? Is she a goddess or something else? Now I know. Now I don't. I'm not an expert on. It's amazing how many experts on Homer there are in the internet these days, and I'm not an expert on Homer, but I have seen a couple of different movie versions of the Odyssey, so I know a little bit about it. Um, but yeah, I think they could have used a little more exposition. And then the like I said, it was all beautifully shot, but I really would have liked to have seen it shot a little bit bigger at some times and a more color. He's shooting on film. God bless him. I'm so happy that he's shooting on film, and he did a great job. And I totally appreciate that. I totally appreciate that he went all over the world to different locations to shoot this. These are the some of my biggest positives. He went all over the world to shoot on real locations. As you mentioned, pretty much most of the visuals and effects were practical. He went out of his way to do that. That was all great. But if you're going to shoot on film, give me some of that brilliant Technicolor beauty that you're supposed to get on film. And I know the story is dark, and you want to get the tone of the dark. But I mean, even in bad days, the sun shines sometimes, and you can get beautiful vistas and greens and blues on the ocean and stuff like that. Not all the time, obviously, but we could have had a little bit more of that. But these are all small criticisms. It was an exciting movie. The acting was all great. Um, the I understand what they did with Zendaya as Athena, and again, her acting was great. She was fine. I have no problem with her playing Athena. She can play Athena anytime she wants, and I understand what they did with where Athena was appearing. They reveal at the end she was appearing as the girl who had been killed in Troy, the slave girl or whatever. Okay, I get that. It was all about Odysseus's grief and guilt
Mm-hmm.
and having to overcome all that before he could reach his goal of getting home. Yeah, I get all that, but still, she could have looked a little bit more like a goddess when she appeared. One thing we do know about Greek gods is they are vain. Okay, so even if she wanted to appear as that woman, she could have appeared as that woman with the makeup and the hair and the jewelry and looking more like a goddess would look. Again, just choices.
Mm-hmm.
And again, these are all very small criticisms. I thought the story was just a little bit, the storytelling was just a little bit rough. Not bad, just a little bit rough. I thought the cast was all good. Again, the action scenes, what was of them was all good. Well, I should make one exception on the casting, and this is just a personal thing. I have never understood how John Leguizamo has ever been cast in anything. I just don't get him at all. But be that as it may, he did his job. So again, overall, beautiful. Love the practical effects. Love the I have no problem with the story. And again, there's all these people online saying, "Oh no," talking about Odysseus like he's Superman or something. No, Odysseus was never Superman. He was never a Boy Scout. He was extremely flawed, and all these
Hmm.
trials were because of his flaws and
Hmm.
bad things that he did. All right, so people just get weird about that. I think Damon did a good job of playing him. He over, he pays penalty for his sins against the gods and people. Breaking Zeus's law was how they put it in this movie, where he murdered everyone in Troy. It was partially his fault, not entirely. I'm not sure what he thought was going to happen when Agamemnon went in there, but okay, I get that he was guilty about what happened there.
Hmm.
So again, overall, great story, beautiful. Is it one of the greatest epics of all time? I mean, depending on how long of a list you want to go into. I mean, is it better than Spartacus? No. Is it better than Ben Hur? No. Is it better than the Ten Commandments? No. Is it better than Gladiator? No. Is it better than Troy? No, which I think is a very underrated movie. I love Troy.
Hmm.
But those are like 6 or 7 of the greatest movies ever made. So it's an extremely high bar. This is a
Yeah,
very, very good movie, and they should be very, very proud of it, and it deserves all of the box office and all the praise that it's getting.
yeah. I just want to point out I said Christopher Nolan's magnum opus, not the magnum opus, just
Understood.
to make it clear. And I still believe it is, but that's my personal opinion, and that's why we're here to discuss our opinions on movies. I totally agree, and I just want to make one counterpoint, Taylor. Zendaya doesn't need makeup to look like a goddess.
Agreed. Like I said, she can play Athena any time.
Yeah, exactly. Um, Merv, do you have any criticisms of the Odyssey?
Only a few, and much like Taylor, they're pretty minor in the grand scheme of things. Um, but like it sounds like with him, I was a little bit off kilter by the jumping, particularly in the like first half hour of the movie where we're in this moment in time and then we're back here. There's a flashback to Troy with Cintron or whatever getting killed, and then we're back in the present, and it just like jumps around a little much, a little fast in the beginning, and it was a little hard for me to initially get my bearings on the way this story was being told. Um, but once it settles into the Odyssey, and then like it's clear that like um, Telemachus's story is 10 years after he essentially leaves the beach in Troy. It all it started flowing much better after that. But that first like 20 minutes or so was a little
Mhm.
spotty for me. Again, it was a little hard to follow for me as well.
Yeah,
It
like in the first
probably
10 minutes, you don't even see Odysseus.
Right, right. But it's like jumping back in time, and it was unclear to me at the time, especially being unfamiliar with the source material. Like, what is going on here? You really had to pay attention to details. But whenever the scenes are flashing before you so fast, it was harder for me to like really pick up on all the little details. I think that'll be something that smooths over with rewatches. I don't think it's going to be an issue the next time, but this
Hmm.
first time it was a little bit.
But that's
The
also a little bit Nolan-esque. I mean, I'm following him since Memento, which I did watch, and I think it's an awesome movie. Um, but he always does this kind of thing, like Tenet does it, Interstellar does it, Inception does it. It's kind of his thing, and in a way, even Oppenheimer does it. So it's a Nolan trademark. So, and as someone who is familiar with the story, I immediately knew what was going on. So basically, I had an advantage. So I can totally understand where you're coming from, where you're both coming from. So fair point.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a huge thing. Like I said, within 15 minutes to half an hour, like it was all settled. The dust had settled off those initial, several scenes. The only other couple that were very mild, but I don't remember the name of the creature, but the six-headed monster. Everything else looked so good, and then that stuck out like a sore thumb as just like it kind of looked like penis. I'm just gonna say it. Like all the little things, just it looks it was just like fleshy tones, and I wasn't really sure where the mouths were, and I was just okay. It did its part, but like of all the things in the movie that maybe looked a little off, that was the one that stuck out to me the most. Everything else I thought looked amazing, and then uh, the final action sequence with Odysseus and the bow, and whenever he starts slaughtering all the suitors, there was a little bit of like shaky cam stuff there, and the battle was a
Mhm.
little bit hard to follow. In particular, I wanted to see some characters die in that scene, and they showed you a couple, but like some of them got lost in the sauce, just a mild criticism of like an otherwise fantastic sequence.
Mhm.
Um, Pretty much everything else is positive for me. Acting wise, I don't have any issues across the board with anyone. A couple of standouts for me were Anne Hathaway's Penelope. I thought she was amazing. And I really liked Samantha Morton as Cersei. And I mentioned on the board, but I put two and two where I knew that actress from this week. So that makes it even better because I like the character that she played in The Walking Dead as well. That's where I saw her before. Visually amazing. I love the Cyclops. I like the giant men. I love the pig transformation stands out as like one of my favorite sequences in the entire thing. And really, the movie is just like sequence after sequence after sequence after sequence. In I would have thought, like, especially like in the midst of it, like three or four sequences in, that like this is going to get boring, and it never got boring for me. I was captivated by it every single time there was a new problem. I loved it along the way. Um, but yeah, the score, my last big highlight, the score I thought was fantastic. It's so simple, and I don't really know how to describe it, but like it was like off putting and like somber and like I don't know. I thought it worked really well for like a lot of the the vibes of this being almost
Mhm.
an endless torment for Odysseus and his crew.
Yeah,
I really liked it a lot.
yeah.
Thought it was a great movie.
Ludwig Göransson is a composer. He also made the music for the first Black Panther movie and for the Mandalorian TV series on Disney Plus. I think he's one of the best composers working in Hollywood today. And yeah, uh, I totally agree with you there because I actually paid attention who was the composer after the movie because the score was indeed so great. Do I have any criticisms of this movie? Mm, I do agree with Taylor about the color thing. It was a little bit dark and gray, and uh, and I'm not the biggest fan of Robert Pattinson as an actor, but he did a fine job in this movie. But yeah, I was happy to see him. He kicked the bucket, so to speak. Uh, I thought the end, the talk between Odysseus and Penelope on the eve of the trial was a particular highlight in this movie. I thought it was the way Matt Damon or how that developed, and it made the time jumping so much more sense. And then you see the what was happening in Troy and why Athena looked the way she does, and yeah, I thought it was just amazing, and that really got to me. I mean, I've seen the old movie, I've read the book, and I kind of knew what was coming. It all looked great. And at some points, it even felt rushed. But so if you talk about criticisms, it felt a little bit rushed at some points, but overall, well done. And yeah, when there was CGI, like with the Cyclops and with the monster that was kind of a dick. that it really didn't look so great compared to the rest of the movie, and it stand out in not the most positive way. So yeah, but still overall, um, I think it's Nolan's best, and yeah, I thought it was absolutely fantastic, and I'm really happy I got to see it on the big screen because this is not a movie you want to watch for the first time on a TV or smaller screen. You need to see it on the biggest screen available. So, uh, and yeah, but overall, yeah, I can totally get where you guys coming from with your criticisms. It's fair point, and yeah. It doesn't mean I like it any less now, but um, we're not going to get into any controversies that were before the movie out because most of them were nonsense. In the end, I mean, the worst part, well, the best part or worst part depends on your viewpoint. But for 6 to 8 months, we heard nothing but it's a disgrace that Elliot Elliot Page plays Hercules, and it's not even the case. So
No.
goes to show you, don't listen to people online. People, they don't know anything. But yeah, and I would go to war for 10 years for Lupita Nyong'o, but that's just personal taste. But anyway, enough about that. Let's move on to a rating. And I'm starting with you, Merv.
Yeah, two more things. This is being unfamiliar with the source material and knowing what I know of Helen of Troy. I was surprised to find out that she has an identical twin sister, and I'm just like, well, so what's the big deal? There's two of them, you know. So that did catch me off guard. I was like, why? Wait, everyone went to war over one of them, you know? Like, there's another one right there. We're fine. We've got.
Yeah, but she was married to his brother.
I know. One other highlight I totally forgot, and I don't know how, was I thought Agamemnon looked fantastic. I loved every time, whenever it was, whether it was the Hades scene or particularly during the fall of Troy, whenever the gates open and he's just standing there like the most evil character ever. I loved it. I don't care if it's historically accurate or not. He had so much aura during those scenes. I thought it was great. I'm going to go 9 out of 10 for this. Just a few small little things keeping it back, but this was such a good movie. It's in my top 3 Nolan films probably right now.
Yeah, historically accurate. It's a book. It's a myth. I mean, Helen of Troy was born from a shell. Her father was Zeus. It's a miracle she didn't have tentacles. But anyway, Taylor, can I have your number for the Odyssey?
Couple of things. First, it must be tough being the ugly twin. That's all.
Yeah.
But the language. There was a lot of talk about, oh my God, they're speaking modern American English. And there is a reason why traditionally movies set in ancient times use that very formal British type language. There's a reason why they usually do that. It's to like immerse the audience into this is not today. This is a different time and a different place, you know. So, and I understood that, but after seeing all the complaining about it and then seeing the actual movie, I mean, it's not like anybody said we're getting jiggy with it or anything like that. They were speaking formal English. They just were speaking it with an American accent and using common modern language. It was all very formal. There was no slang at all in it. So I thought that was just another ridiculous complaint about it. I hardly even noticed it. Secondly, they shot this movie on 70 millimeter IMAX film, right? Now, and I really appreciate them. I understand film, okay, that I get. And when I hear the word IMAX, that tells me the screen is bigger, and that's literally all I know about IMAX because I've never seen any other difference other than the screen is bigger. So whatever, see it on the biggest screen you can get to. but I appreciate him using the film. All right, given everything I've said, what is my final and unalterable score rating? 8 out of 10.
Okay. Fair. Yeah, I'm gonna go 10 out of 10. I absolutely love this movie. I get your criticisms. I don't necessarily agree with everything, and when I agree, I don't care. It's as simple as that. I think it's an amazing movie. It's Nolan's best, in my view. So 10 out of 10. And yeah, there's not much more to say about it. Um, well, that concludes our review of the Odyssey. We hope you have enjoyed our discussion today. If you did, helps out. Like, share, subscribe, and join our forum at cigar.freeforms.net. We would love it if you do that. Yes, this weekend we will finally release our DS9 Season 7 review. And um, it took a while, but we're getting there. And we will also have a brand new review for Spider Man. For now, I want to thank you all also on behalf of Taylor and Merv and wish you to be safe and be well. Bye.